You didn't always feel this way. There was a time when you trusted your own footing, when decisions felt clear, when your inner compass, it worked. Now, something feels off. Not loud, not obvious, just a steady sense that you're no longer where you started. Not who you were not so long ago. Somewhere along the way, you begin orbiting someone else's inner weather. And without realizing it, you lost yourself inside that orbit. You're careful now. You watch your tone. You read moods. You look around and you think ahead. Not because you're weak, but because you learned that peace had conditions attached. So you replay conversations. You second-guess your memory. Did I remember that right? You adjust before anything is said. And quietly, you begin wondering whether the problem is you. This is how many men disappear without ever leaving the room. It rarely starts as chaos. It starts as intensity, connection, a feeling of being chosen. You're needed, valued, and pulled in close. Then slowly, the ground shifts. Emotions change without warning. Apologies become routine, even for being right. Responsibility drifts in one direction. You find yourself steadying storms that you didn't create. You steady daily life by trying to help, trying to understand, trying to keep something intact. And while your attention stays outward, your center starts to erode. Not all at once, not with a bang, but quietly, assuredly. Living inside someone else's emotional gravity changes you. Your nervous system stays alert. Your words become filtered. Your truth, becomes negotiable. You anticipate reactions before they arrive. You withhold to avoid escalation. You tell yourself, oh, this is love, but it isn't. It's survival. And every time you absorb what isn't yours, you reinforce a belief that you never agreed to. You tell yourself that if you stay calm, careful enough, available enough, things will settle down. They don't, because the storm was never yours to manage. What you lose first is not the relationship, it's yourself. Here's what often goes unspoken. You're not just confused, you're cautious. Not because you lack strength, but because you've been trained to brace. You've learned what sets things off, what invites blame, what leads to withdrawal, so you bend a little. Not dramatically, incrementally, until the man you were feels distant. And underneath that adjustment sits something heavy. Resentment you don't voice. Loneliness somehow you really can't quite name. A quiet shame for staying when something in you knows better. You keep hoping that effort will restore balance. It doesn't. Because imbalance has become the foundation of your daily structure. You don't need a diagnosis. You don't need to win an argument. You don't need to fix what's broken. You do need to come back to where you left yourself. That return doesn't start with confrontation. It starts with recognition, with noticing how far your center has moved to accommodate someone else, with allowing yourself to say, without accusation, I am no longer here, and choosing quietly to reverse that drift. When you step out of constant emotional management, something unexpected happens. The quiet feels unfamiliar. There is space, and with it, uncertainty, but also steadiness. Your thoughts slow. Your body exhales. Your reactions belong to you again. The pain doesn't just vanish, but it's honest. And from that honesty, something solid returns. Standards, boundaries, a sense of self that no longer asks permission to exist. You probably won't announce this shift. You simply stop abandoning yourself. Losing yourself in someone else's chaos doesn't mean you failed. It just means you stayed too long in conditions that required self-erasure. Coming back is not dramatic. It's quiet, internal, and irreversible. This is still standing, a place for men who are done disappearing inside other people's storms.